I did get a letter from the Speaker of the House enjoining me not to brief Secretary Clinton. And
At a time. Well, this is a preliminary release of a notification that I got today. Actually, it was discovered by my wonderful sister-in-law, and what she found was that a couple of websites out there are now saying that WikiLeaks has come out with a verification of what I said 4 years ago with regard to Hillary Clinton's complicity and Barack Obama's complicity and Panetta's complicity in the death of Ambassador Stevens. And so I understand that there was an open letter written by WikiLeaks that's out there publicly acknowledging. Long story short, what I had said 4 years ago, and I reiterated it during the campaign, was that Stevens had become a liability. His CIA involvement with gun running, sex trafficking, and drug running were becoming known and leaking out, and he was a liability to Obama before the 2012 election. And this is why he had to be dealt with. He knew he was a marked man. He was doing these activities for the CIA to raise money to give arms to al-Qaeda for regime change in Libya to take out Gaddafi. Why did Gaddafi have to go? Because, as I reported 4 years ago, he wasn't playing ball with the central banks, the bastards in Basel, if you will. So he had to go. And I reported on that extensively. My sources were unimpeachable in terms of the credibility that I lend them. And it ended up that people 6 months later from places like Glenn Beck started saying, you know, the Hodges guy may not be quite as crazy as we think. So this is going to be coming out on WikiLeaks from what I understand. Now, this is not an I told you so. This is the I told you so. The I told you so for the Common Sense Show would be ego. The I told you so for the American people was I put this out again during the general campaign season to show why Hillary Clinton cannot be allowed to become president. And I don't know how many people I swayed. I have no idea whatsoever. I'm hoping I did some good with that. But a bad Donald Trump, and I'm not saying he's bad, would have been better than a Hillary Clinton. I mean, she would have been a disaster for this country. And I am so glad that WikiLeaks is validating this before people get buyer's remorse on Donald Trump with regard to his appointments. I think it's really important that we take a look at what Hillary Clinton would have represented. I mean, Ambassador Stevens asked her for increased protection multiple times, and she said, we can't afford it. Can't afford it in an administration that had doubled the national debt, and they couldn't afford a platoon of Marines. No, they had to shut him up. And it was, she's an accomplice in the murder of Ambassador Stevens. I'll go to my grave believing that, and now a lot of America knows the truth. Now, she'll never be prosecuted, and that's something that I'm going to be discussing in another broadcast, but nonetheless,